Hey, welcome back to the Yungermann podcast. I got a long-time friend. Been knowing this boy about 20 years, Louis Yungermann, also known as Juice. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Long time, bro. I feel like I haven't seen you
I
in
know.
years.
It's been a while.
It's great to see you. It's good to reconnect, man. What do you think about the studio?
I love it, man. This is awesome.
Dope, man. I'm happy to have you here. Happy to reconnect.
Yeah.
So, like, what's been going on in your world, bro?
Just graduated college. Just been working, man. Just been working, dealing, living at home, just dealing with the same old shit everybody else is dealing with, COVID and everything like that.
Crazy shit, man. What'd you get your degree in?
Management. Entrepreneurship, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you learn a lot? I love entrepreneurship.
Did I learn a lot? I mean, I don't know. Not as much as I should have. I should have put more into it, type of thing. I feel like a lot of people kind of might feel like that with their degree.
Do.
But once you're in the moment, you don't really think about, like...
You're just caught up in being in college.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild because I feel the same way. Like, I regret not focusing more on these classes.
Yeah.
Because it's like you could have learned a lot. Like, I went back for my MBA and I took 2 classes. Completely different experience.
Really?
Yeah, because like I was more motivated. This is what I wanted. I guess because I had experienced working, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, that's actually why I went back. I was miserable at my job.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking back, like, when was I happy? And I was most happy when I was in college. So I was kind of chasing that.
Yeah.
What I liked about college was, like, you have assignments and you know what you have to do. And it's just like, if you can do that and get it done, you're going to succeed. But kind of in the workforce, it's a different beast, It's just like, you can do everything they ask of you and still
it's never enough, you know? It's like, if you're really good and you work really hard, a lot of companies just kind of, I don't know if take it for granted is the right way to put it, but they just like, I mean, I guess it's good. They want to push their employees harder, but it's just always like, I don't know. You don't get like the recognition. When I went to, college I went for 5 years, but 4 years or whatever, got my degree, been going to school my whole life, working for this, end goal of getting a job. I mean, I guess it's like you say, I know you kind of said like you got to establish yourself, get a few, kind of shittier jobs out of the way to like get to that job that you really enjoy. But I don't know, like, what does that mean exactly? Like, how long am I going to have to do a job I hate? And then, what is the next job? How's that going to be different? Like, is there really a job to where people just love it, As far as, like, the sales, like, business field goes, I mean...
The way I look at it is, it's just like, we go to school, graduate, and work. I kind of wish that we were given this lull period. Like, they gave you a year or two to just experience life, like, get to know yourself. Once you graduate, you're catapulted into this workforce, and it's just like, you have this expectation to find a job and stay at the job. And if you keep going from job to job, you like, it can look bad, but can also look good. Like me, I've had 4 jobs. I graduated in 2018. I've had 4 jobs.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad about it at first, but then I'm realizing.
Why? I mean, if you find another job, I mean, did you leave a job and have a period where you weren't working? Or
No.
did you,
It was always I had a job.
That's what I mean. If you have a job lined up and you think you'll enjoy it more and you hate your current job, I mean, why would you not leave it?
Right, okay.
It's like, I'm not working for anybody but myself. I'm not like trying to, I mean, it might sound selfish, but like, I'm not going to go into work if I'm not, I don't want to go into work if I'm not happy and do something just to benefit the work. Like, the work doesn't care about me.
They don't.
So why should I care about them? If I had a job where like I felt like, but then again, if I had a job where I felt like they really cared about me and wanted to see me successful, I feel like I wouldn't want to leave that job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I wouldn't want to look for another job, So it's like, I'm not going to I'll go out of my way to benefit them when I feel like they're not going to go out of their way to benefit me. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And it's like, they're a $1 million company. Like, I'm just a little pawn in their whole machine. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
really
like leaving a job. I don't care about that. I mean, the only thing is, it's like, eventually I guess you got to find a job and settle on it. And, because you can't just keep you can't you can't just keep leaving, going to different jobs until you're 40 or whatever.
You're right. Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, while you're young, you might as well try to find something you could see yourself doing for a while and stick with it,
I wish that they promoted trade schools more.
Yeah.
Because like having a trade, especially in a time like this is so much money, and you work for yourself. If you have a trade, it's so easy to just start up your own.
That's the funny thing is, like, back in high school, all the, like Lewis and Clark, all, like, that's all trade stuff. I remember all the kids back in high school that were like, oh, like, he's going to Lewis and Clark. It's kind of like, I mean, back in high school, let's admit we were like immature, like whatever.
I thought they were dweebs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're like, oh, they're going to Lewis and Clark, they're stupid, or like they can't go to college, like they're a loser, they're not going to go anywhere in life. And now I look back and it's like, shit, some dude went to Lewis and Clark for fucking welding or for fucking
money.
HVAC repair or construction. They're unionized. They're probably making $60K, $50K starting, and they have a full salary. They might have a full retirement. They might have a pension.
Plus, they have a skill that a lot of people don't have.
They have a transferable skill to where, if they did need to find another job for some reason, it probably wouldn't be very hard for them.
It wouldn't.
It's like and they probably enjoy it. They get to like go do something. They get to work outside. They get to do something that they enjoy, and that actually they get to do something that they can actually see like a benefit for. I'm not going to be one of those types of people that just wakes up every day and does a job. Have you seen that movie? What is it, like Office Space?
No.
I don't want to be like that guy to where he just he's like every day's the worst day of my life. Because that's what I can relate to that now. You know what I mean? It's like you see all these posts on like, all these memes or whatever joking about it. Like Office Space is a documentary or whatever. It's like I understand that now because, every day I wake up and have to do this job that I hate is, quote unquote, one of the worst, the worst day of my life or whatever. I mean, everybody's job's different. Some people, it sounds like your job's actually not too bad, but I don't know.
It's not. It's actually a great organization. I love it. But I just think that my problem that I've run into with different jobs is I see myself doing more. That's why, like you said, you search for that gratification. You want to do something that's really going to help other people. And I know I'm probably not going to get that from a job. So, I use jobs as a way to save money. Like, I'm going to put wherever I work, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to put the work in, make sure I'm a good employee, regardless. But I have a bigger purpose. Like,
yeah,
I'm always trying to get a business or something started up,
Same. I feel like a lot of millennials are like, we're millennials, right? Yeah, we're millennials.
Whatever, we're
millennials. I feel like a lot of millennials are like, kind of focused on starting something for themselves, because it's like, I feel like a lot of millennials kind of grew up. I'm not sure what your parents did, but I know I grew up my mom enjoyed her job all right, but she was kind of a teacher, in a sense. So it was all right. She liked it all right. But my dad, like, he hated his job towards the end, especially, So it's like, we kind of hear these stories growing up, see like our parents going to work every day, just doing a job that they don't like. And it's like fuck, I don't want to do that until I'm 50 years old, or not even 50, like 60, 65. And I just feel like now, especially, just the kind of like wealth distribution and everything, like unless you figure out some type of way to create your own kind of passive income, you're just going to be working until you're at least 60, 65, unless you either do that or start investing when you're young, which is a good idea, by the way, if you're not investing.
Yeah, my first job was at Edward Jones. I worked there in retirement distributions and education savings. So working there as a first job was such a blessing, just because I saw how people who started saving in their 20s, how their money grew to when they were 60, they had millions of dollars. So that was great for me to see. And right after I got that job, I called my dad's financial advisor. I got a Roth IRA set up. And it's already grown so much. And then I got so much money in mutual funds just because I started right when I started working. Another thing I
Like
did
right
was,
when you started like right when you graduated?
yeah, I
Or?
graduated, worked at Edward Jones. I'm like, what the fuck is this? How do I get hip? So I just invested some money, and mutual funds is the way to go. And another thing I did, this was my second job. I tell people to do this. Not everyone can do it, but it's so easy. So you get your paychecks when you sign up for your direct deposit. This is something I do. It's so easy to save money this way. You have 70% go to your checking account and 30% go to your savings account. After the first two paychecks, you adapt to that 70%. And you forget about the 30% going to your savings account, and that money just gonna stack up.
Yeah.
And kids with saving account, they're great. But if you have, like, I'd say over $5,000 in a savings account, put it in mutual funds, because you're going to park your money in a savings account that's getting like pennies on the dollar with interest when you can invest it in the market, and that money's just going to grow. But yeah, getting and investing while you're young is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
You have to invest while you're young. Because if you don't, I think if you don't start investing by the time you're at least 35, I think
that's way too late.
That's way too late.
I think like once
I think
you, get
you
past
should
25,
start. I think you should start when you're right when you start working in high school. Honestly, if I have kids, and that's a big if. I don't know. If I have kids, when I have kids, whatever, that's what I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna say, right when you start working, like you said, take 30%, whatever, 20% of your income, and invest it. Because I know, like, I mean, my parents never really talked to me about like how important it is to invest. I just want to be sure my kids understand that, because investments is a way to where you can retire. That's what everybody's kind of end goal is, retirement, like just stop working. Because I mean, unless you got a job you really love, which is probably not a lot of people, work is like, it sucks. Work sucks. It's just like a shitty part of life. But that's the big thing, is like invest while you're young.
it is. But it's, my brother was a big role model for me because he used to work down in Alabama. He had a good IT job. He said, "This isn't me. It's taking up too much of my time. I'm a corporate slave." So he quit his job, moved to New York, and pursued his music and like videography stuff. It was rough at first, but he made it happen. He found a way to capitalize on that. So, and my thing is like, I believe in everything I'm doing. Like, I made some moisturizers today. I've got this podcast. I did clothes before. Like, I learned from my failures. I don't take any of that shit personal. Like if I fail and if I'm not doing right, people have been honest with me, and I think that's been great and that's helped me. But what I want to do is just commit my energy to what drives me, and I feel like great things are going to come out of it regardless.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, I'm definitely going to work. I'm always going to have a job, but that's not going to be my only source of income. Like I'm always going to put money different places. I'm always going to have a backup plan.
Yeah. You got to have like some type of, side hustle or whatever that you're, passionate about. Something you're actually passionate about. If you can figure out some way to make money off of what you're passionate about, that's kind of what everybody's trying to figure out.
You're so right.
That's what everybody's end goal is. That's how like people start businesses, like companies, like big companies, is they find something they're passionate about and they find a way to make money off of that.
That's all it is.
That's the whole, like, that's the way to start a successful business.
That's the quote unquote American dream.
Exactly. You find something you're passionate about and you find a way to turn that into making money. And then, I mean, that sounds like what your brother did. What's he doing? He
works from home at an IT job, and he's doing music videos. He films videos for people, and he's got a new thing coming where he's going to do marketing videos for real estate agents. Okay. Just because he has everything. Yeah. And he's great, man. He's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's really good at what he does.
That's cool. That's cool that he like, found something that he actually likes doing, and he's like making good money off of it. And
it's great to see.
It's good that he like recognized early that that's not what he wanted to do, and he actually had the guts to go out and pursue what he likes to do. Because I feel like a lot of people kind of recognize, like, I don't want to do this for the next 30 years or 40 years or whatever, like, but a lot of people just kind of say, well, this is my only option, like,
yeah,
what else am I gonna do? So it's cool that he actually like said, no, this isn't my only option. I have a bunch of options, and I'm young. Now's the time to go out and pursue something I'm actually passionate about. And, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I can say I tried. And at least I can say I, didn't just settle for something that I don't have a passion for.
You only get one life.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking 24 now. And it's just like, how did I get here?
I'm 25.
And it's just like, I don't know. I remember being 18. It's just like, when I was 20, I thought I was going to be doing crazy shit at this age. Like unrealistic shit, of course. But like, I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
But I'm not satisfied. Like, I don't know.
I've always just thought like, once you get a degree and, it just kind of takes care of itself type of thing. I mean, obviously you got to like put in the work to, with like internships and pursuing a job. But I don't know. It's like once you graduate, you look around and look at all the jobs that are available. And it's just kind of like, I don't want to do any of these fucking jobs. I don't want to work for some company that, some guys sitting up top making all the money and I'm just sitting down here making, shit like
chump change,
barely even enough to keep me coming into the job. But then it's like, what else am I going to do, When we got marketing degrees or business degrees, like I didn't see myself sitting on a phone all day cold calling people, or when like a nurse gets a nursing degree, I'm sure they didn't see themselves like wiping old people's asses and you know what I mean? Like you don't really understand the shit that goes into these jobs. You just see like a nurse and you like read about a nursing job and it's like obviously if you look up, like a nursing job online, like oh what jobs can you get with this degree? It's going to be like, oh, like you can do this and like all these things, It's like this is a great degree. You're never going to find something, especially on like college websites or like you're talking to your like the advisor. Yeah, you're talking to like your advisor. They're never going to be like, "Oh, yeah, well if you do this, you're probably going to be, cleaning bedpans and hanging toe tags." That's what my roommate, he's not a nursing major, but he was a CM, like a cellular molecular biology major, and he said he had an internship at a hospital and that's all he did the whole time. But I mean, a nurse, like you do shit like that a lot, and I think that's why a lot of people that go into nursing jobs are just like, fuck, like they switch. I know one girl that got a nursing degree job and she's like, man, like this isn't what I thought I'd be doing,
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I wish that they would prepare you more for like figuring out what job you actually want to do.
Where do you think that starts?
I think it should start in high school.
I agree.
100%. Because, I mean, everything leading up to high school, I feel like it's just kind of like, I mean, elementary school's like whatever. You're just learning basic shit, that's obviously. But then like middle school, you're just kind of adjusting to like, you're learning more, you're developing more, you're getting more used to just being independent. You got your lockers, you're going to different classes. If you think about like middle school, I mean, it's giving you more knowledge, but it's also kind of preparing you for high school, where you have you have lockers, you go to different classes. You know what I mean? It's just giving you that,
That's the first time you really like divided too. Like they have 6'1" and 6'2".
Yeah, you're divided more. It's giving you like that more, like independence, just like building kind of your independence factor, like getting you more used to that type of situation.
Yeah.
And then you go to high school and you do the same thing. But I feel like high school doesn't prepare you for going to college.
Yeah. The middle school to high school is here, but high school to college of the world is so much.
It's totally different. Totally
substantial.
Different. Because it's like the whole point of doing all this schooling is to just get a job.
Yeah.
That's the whole point to all of it. So I don't get why in high school we don't have a mandatory class that's just like career preparation or something, or like, major preparation. Because it's like when you go to college, how many people do you know that went to college and changed majors 3 or 4 times?
75% of the people.
Exactly. And then they graduate in 5 years, 6 years, or they never graduate because they never find something they truly enjoy. But how many majors could you list at your college?
There's a lot, right?
Like off the top of your head.
I mean, yeah. I mean, education.
Yeah.
global business, human resources, social justice,
Sure, like
criminal. Yeah,
basic ones, right? But do you know how many majors colleges offer?
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And you don't even learn about any of them. You're supposed to just figure that out on your own? Like just I mean, I guess you could go online and do your own research and just
Oh my gosh. Yes.
you
I took
know
a human resource class. Best professor I ever had. Fell in love with the class. But listen, before I even digress to that, sophomore year I took anthropology. Best professor, amazing experience. I'm like, yo, I want to major in this. I want to major in anthropology. I go to my advisor, who was the dean of business school, like the dean of business. I'm like, hey, I was thinking about, going to anthropology, at least take it in my mind. He's like, you don't want to do that. Stay where you are. So he just disregarded what I said. So I didn't get to follow anthropology. That kind of just fell off. That's my favorite. I love that shit.
yeah.
So then I take human resources. Best class, did so good at it. And I go to my advisor. I'm like, hey, I'd love to like get more into human resources. He's like, you came this far, just go to marketing. Like, but human resources is like my favorite class ever. And I just feel like the way the system's set up now, it puts you in a box.
Yeah.
It puts you in this limited ass box, and I just feel like you have to know people to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, they want I feel like a lot of colleges, I mean, I'm not going to say they want you to, because they just kind of recognize how the system's set up, but they want you to find a job that you're going to be able to make money in and find a career in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, anthropology, if you could definitely find something with that. I'm not sure what kind of career fields it offers, but I know that's the whole thing is oh, well, that's the whole thing about, oh, you don't want to be an art major or something because it's you're not going to find a job for that.
Right, yeah, of course. I get it. I completely get
That's
it.
just the way the system's kind of set up.
I really get it.
Because if you're not just joining in on the system, be another cog in the wheel, benefiting to society's big old machine in a way, then you're not gonna fit in. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. But if you're truly passionate about something, then I say you should pursue it. Because if you're truly passionate about something, then you'll find a way to make money off of it.
Yeah, you're right.
It might not be it might not be the money you thought you'd be making, but
I think that when you're in that situation, money doesn't even matter.
If you're doing something you're passionate about. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're doing something you're passionate about, then I'd rather do something I loved and make 30 grand a year or not a bunch of money than do something I absolutely hate and make 100 grand a year or whatever, because then at least I'm satisfied in my life. What's the point of making a bunch of money if you're not satisfied?
You're miserable.
Yeah, if you're miserable and you're not satisfied with what you're doing.
You gotta realize 40 hours a week is a lot of time in your life. 8 hours a day,
saying.
That's 1/3 of the day.
You don't realize how much time you're going to be spending at work until you actually start working 40-hour weeks. You're like, fuck. I literally I'll wake up at 7 o'clock, start working at 8, get off at 5. And back when I was in the office, I'd wake up at 7. I'd have to get to work at 8. I'd get off at 5, I'd drive home. I'd get home around 5:36, and then I'd eat dinner, have, maybe an hour to myself, go to the gym, get home, go to bed, wake up. That was
you're
a
program.
day.
You're just in the matrix. You're just a robot.
You're just doing the everything. Every day's the same, and then the weekend finally comes, and you're like, hell yeah, I got
freedom. You're
2
a
days.
slave.
Yeah, it's 2 days to myself where I can do what I actually want and what I actually enjoy. And
guess what?
Fun.
Sunday afternoon, you hear that whip crackling.
Yeah, you do. Sundays are the worst because it's the day, you see the time ticking by, and you're like, "Fuck, Monday's
I gotta
coming
go.
up." Yeah,
I say this all the time, but the meaning of life can't be to work 40 hours and look forward to weekends.
No,
there's so much more to life, but you get caught up in the system to where you have to work 40 hours, and I get my weekends off, and that's something to be very proud of. And it's just I get it, I understand that's how it's set up, but I don't want that. But dude, we've been talking about work for a minute. Let's get off of that. Let's get off that. So these fucking crazy times, dude. 2020's been a blur.
Really?
I've been working from home since February. What have you been doing in the meantime? Like,
Since
yeah, like since
February?
COVID like really hit America, like what have you been doing since then? I've been at the house. Like I've not been doing shit.
Yeah. Well, I was doing that campaign job trying to get recreational weed on the ballot, you know.
What's it like being a petitioner? Because oftentimes when they approach me, I'm just like, I'm not from the state. I just kind of bypass them. Like,
That's terrible. It's like the worst person ever.
I mean,
Should
like,
have just signed it.
think about it. Some of these
Be
people,
like, this motherfucker won't sign for weed. Are you kidding me? Look at his eyes, dude.
no, but the thing is, like they just like some of them just come up to me in hoodies and sweatpants. They don't like have the best
Yeah.
presentation. I'm like, this isn't real.
I mean, that's what I wear. I mean, I don't wear sweatpants. I wear jeans and a hoodie. Dude, one time I was walking around. It was raining, right? It was raining, and you know, like Carhartts, right? I had a black Carhartt on and a black hoodie and jeans, and my hood up because it was raining. And I had like all my forms,
That
like
looks terrifying.
like in my coat.
Like
You
the
know?
hash thing and slasher, motherfucker.
Yeah, I had like all my forms in my coat because I didn't want them to get wet. And I was just walking up to people in the parking lot, like with my forms in my coat, like just, hey, will you sign my petition? Like they probably thought I was about to pull out a fucking gun or a knife or
you lucky
something
you ain't
and
black.
kill them.
Black man would
Right?
have one chance. Like, for real though, man.
Yeah, no, I mean it was all right. I mean, it paid $15 an hour.
What were you measured on?
We had to get so many signatures a day. So like we were supposed to get, I think it was 50 at least. We were supposed to get 50 signatures a day. 55.
Is that easy?
Not really. No, I mean as long as you got at least 40, it was like good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was really cool. She didn't really stress over it. She didn't really like care. But I mean,
She knew it was a
like,
hard job. How'd you
what?
get that job?
I just found it on Craigslist.
Oh,
Yeah,
Craigslist.
because I was gonna start doing something else,
Mhm.
and then she started job searching on Craigslist, and I found the petitioning job, and it said like make $15 an hour, like. So I was like, I was just looking for something temporary until I found like an actual job with my major. So I just started doing it, and yeah, it was all right. It was all right for a while, but then like COVID happened and that shit. Obviously, you can't go up to people with COVID going on, so that shit got canceled.
When you were a delivery driver, your snaps used to be hilarious. The way you would just document what was going on.
Yeah.
You could have had a podcast back then because like the way you were talking, the stories, everything was great. It was golden.
Yeah.
I remember you told me the one story about when you put the pizzas on the back of your car.
Dude,
You got to tell that story, man. That story is hilarious.
that was ridiculous. Yeah, so I was pretty stoned when this happened, and I went. I was delivering like 3 deliveries, and one of them was like 10 pizzas. So it was like 3 different bags, and I had them all in the back of my car. And I go to take this one delivery, like the delivery before the big one, and I take, because all the bags are in the way, so I take them all out and I set them on the back of my car, and I go up and I give the lady her one single pizza, and I go back, get in my car, back out, drive to the next spot as a church, and this girl's waiting outside for the pizza, and she's like, oh, you can just bring it in. And I look in the back of my car, I was like, oh fuck, I never took them off the back of my car. So I was like, oh, like, hold on, I forgot something at the store. I got to go back. So I drive back to the person's house that I delivered the last pizza at, and they were gone. They weren't anywhere. So I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I can't just tell them I drove off with them on the back of my car. Like, they might fire me, They probably would. Like, they're going to be pissed. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to tell them I left them on the back of my car and somebody stole them. So I get back, and luckily our like GM wasn't there. It was just like our like assistant manager.
Yeah.
So I go in there, and he's like, I was like, hey, I got to, I was like, can you come in the back? I got to tell you something. And he's like, well, yeah, what's up? I was like, yeah, like those pizzas, man. Like I set them on the back of my car. I like went in this lady's house because she was like older and she wanted help like taking the pizzas out of her bag. And I come out and they were just gone. Like I think somebody stole them. And he was like, you're telling me you lost 8 pizzas or 10 pizzas? And I was like, yeah, like somebody stole them, you know. So he was kind of pissed about it, but he was like, you know, he let me off. He let me off pretty easily considering things. So they bought it. They bought it. So I was
Dude.
good. I was good to go after that, but it was not smooth at all. It was. I mean, lying to him was pretty smooth, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good
But,
story. I mean, that's the best story I would have come up with.
yeah, lying to him was pretty
Yeah,
smooth, but everything else was
you
like.
can't say you drove off with them without sounding like an idiot.
Yeah, hell no, I was not gonna tell him. One time though, I was working there, and I wasn't even stoned this day or anything. I was just backing up I was backing up to take a delivery, and then I realized I forgot like some ranch cups or something stupid. So I jump out of my car to go get the ranch cups. I left my car in reverse, so it just kept backing up, dude. And some guy that was working there too, like, saw it just backing up with nobody in it. So he jumped in. He jumped in the, yeah, he jumped in the car and like put it in park or whatever real quick. But I guess he was pretty old, so I guess he like pulled something and had to like. He had to be on like fucking medical leave for like a week after that.
Did they know you were the reason why?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, my manager checking me out, he's like, Louis, how stoned were you today? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you left your car in reverse. Like, and I was like, honestly, I wasn't stoned at all. Like,
You were really thinking about those ranch cups.
yeah, I don't know, dude. I was just like, fuck, I forgot the ranch. So I just jumped out, dude. I wasn't even, I don't know, man. It was, maybe I was stoned. I don't know.
I know you went to school for like, entrepreneurship. If you were to start a business, what would you be your ideal business?
I've thought of a few business ideas. I really want to start like a food business, like a food truck, like a restaurant or something, you know, because I mean, my dad was a cook for a while. I like cooking. I like
Yeah,
eating
you can
food,
cook.
you know.
You can
Yeah,
really cook.
I can cook some good food. I like eating food.
All right, so before we had the technical difficulties, you were telling me about how your passion for cooking and how you want to start a food truck up.
Yeah, so I mean, I just love to start like a food truck or just like some type of restaurant, sports bar. I thought of a couple good ideas as far as that goes, but I mean, it just takes a lot of money to put into it up front, you know.
The thing is, they don't make restaurants usually don't make like money until like the third year, second or third
Yeah,
year.
and it's a lot of upfront cost. You
Hmm.
know, it's a lot of upfront cost as far as that goes. But I thought of a really good idea. So, you know, uh, Streets of St. Charles, right?
Of course.
There's a spot for lease right there. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, man, if I had like 100, 200K to throw at this bit, I'd be like, all right, so they have these out in LA, right?
Yeah,
You go in there and it's like Qdoba, right? But it's for like mac and cheese. So you
that's
go
a
in there.
perfect location for it.
That's what I'm saying. So you go in there and you pick like the type of noodle you want and the type of cheese you want, and then you just got like different toppings. So you could put like pulled pork or like
Brisket, maybe.
crab brisket, like flaming hot
Oh
Cheetos,
wow,
like any really anything. Like the opportunity for that is limitless.
that's a good spot too.
But you're telling me if there wasn't a restaurant like that, where you could go in there, make some. Imagine going in there, getting a bowl of mac and cheese with like whatever cheese you want, and like some flaming hot Cheetos on top, and some pulled pork and bacon and jalapenos. Like you wouldn't pay $8-10 for that.
I wouldn't, but people
You
would.
wouldn't.
I don't like mac and cheese like
You don't
that.
like mac and cheese?
I do, but I'm not gonna. I'm $8 to $10 for just mac and cheese. That's a lot of carbs, man.
That's a lot of carbs.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
So you're just a health. That's just a health thing for you then.
I mean,
You're just a health nut guy.
no. I mean, it's a good idea, and I think that it would sell. I think it's a prime location for it. It's a great idea. I really think so. And the great thing is, like, I don't know. You can start with a food truck. You can start with something. I don't know much about food trucks as a whole, but it seems like if you can get a successful food truck, you can make a little bit of money.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like that's how a lot of successful restaurants start. Have you ever had that what's that one food truck, man? It's like some Asian one. It's like some,
I've only had like 2 food
like,
trucks in St.
oh,
Louis.
it's so good. Some Asian one. I can't think of the name of it. It's like shit.
Looking back at it, I'm so cheap when I go to food trucks and they try to charge me a lot of money. I'm
You
like, what
should.
the fuck is this? It's a
Yeah,
food
you're
truck.
just a cheap motherfucker, dude.
I go to food trucks like, why are they
You
charging
used
me
to
this?
always make fun of Mike Wallenberg, call him a Jew.
No, listen, like that was it. Like that, I didn't even know the guy for real. Someone just told me he was
and
Jewish.
you're over here complaining about fucking.
I'm not an anti-Semite, by the way. I was just a young kid. I was just young.
There's gonna be some Jews watching the podcast, be like, "Whoa, what did I don't know what is it? I don't know what a Jew accent is, you know."
A lot of
A lot of yeah, you just lost a few. You lost your 2 Jewish fans right there.
they ain't made it this far.
Yeah, you're right. They're like, they're talking about not making money. You know, we're out.
They do that. Bunch of lazy workers.
Yeah, they're talking about not working, not making money. It's like Italian, I don't think.
Yeah, we just went full Italian. No, we lost our 2 Italian guys.
Shit. What do we got left? Let's talk about 2020. Let's end it on 2020 and just how crazy this year has been. Like, when has there been a year crazier than 2020?
Highlighted with Kobe Bryant.
That's what I was thinking about. I was looking around at like the Lakers poster stuff. Like, I remember the day that happened.
It didn't seem real.
It didn't seem. It was crazy. It was like it was crazy, man. It was like a president getting assassinated or something, you know? Like, you just can't believe it. Like, just a huge figure like that everybody knows, everybody loves, everybody respects,
With
you know?
his daughter, too.
What'd you say?
With his daughter.
Yeah, I know. With his daughter and the other family's daughter. It's crazy, man.
There's just a lot of death.
Oh,
That was awful.
it was awful. Terrible. It's just crazy to see, like, Kobe just, like, gone like that, man. It's insane just to see somebody so just relevant in so many aspects. Like, even people that never watched basketball in their lives knew who Kobe Bryant was, you know?
Got me think about Kobe.
Yeah,
man. How much he meant to me, man.
It's sad. I mean,
It's awful. Like, it's just sad to think about.
it's crazy though, because it's like 2019, people would still be talking about that. You know, they'd still be talking about Kobe. But it's like, think about all the shit that's happened since then. It's like COVID, fucking
Yeah, that's crazy. He passed away before COVID.
yeah.
Like, life was so. I remember like after Kobe passed, I wore Lakers shit every day. I watched the funeral. I was crying at work, man. And I remember we were at work. Everything was fine. And then we had this little powwow. And they're like, yeah, so we're going to do this at home thing. I left so much stuff at my desk. So much stuff in my desk. Because the way they made it seem like we're going to go home for like a month. We're going to adapt. We'll be back.
Can you go get it?
They really don't want anyone in there unless they're shooting. So, but yeah, it was. I remember that. Who would have predicted this? Like the whole working from home thing. I worked in the basement, worked in the guest room, tried to work in my room. It just feels like different phases, and it's been crazy. Like, I can just vividly remember going shopping when I first started working from home, and it was just Sam's was busy. There was no water, no toilet paper. It was like a war zone.
Yeah. Well, I was still working the campaign job right when this was happening, and I remember I was in a Walmart parking lot, and everybody was just hoarding the toilet paper and stuff like that. And some guy like that worked there came out, and I was just like, I said something about the toilet paper. He's like, yeah, man, people are going crazy for it, you know? It was kind of just a joke back then, you know? It was just like a joke, like, oh, COVID, you know, people are freaking out or whatever.
That's when they were calling it coronavirus.
Yeah, coronavirus.
Coronavirus hits different.
Yeah, coronavirus, COVID, whatever you want to call it, the Chinese. Oh, we should lose a Chinese audience too. But, you know, like whatever you want to call it, man. It's like, it's just crazy the way it's consumed all aspects of life like this. Like, it's essentially directed all of this year so far, you know?
It has.
Since like March or whatever. It's just like, it's been the only thing people talk about, the only thing people focus on anymore. It's like, because it's just impacted so many people in so many different ways and changed so many things about just the way we go about everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think everyday life will be the same after this.
I ask this question all the time, like, what is the new normal? Like,
yeah, exactly. What is the new normal? I don't know. Like, when will things go back? I think things will go back to normal once they eventually find a vaccine for it, which they will eventually find a vaccine for it. And then I think things will go completely back to normal. Because, I mean, honestly, in Missouri, things were I'd say relatively normal
Yeah,
until it spiked again like a month ago or whatever.
yeah.
And then everything just went back to going crazy again because, it spiked and everybody was kind of freaking out like as it was back in like right when it happened. So I don't know when things will go back to normal. Hopefully soon. Hopefully they get this figured out soon.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of went crazy working from home with like the parents always being there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say it was a lot, but like first off, that's when I was doing those live videos in the basement. And like I realized I had to get a little drink in me to loosen up. My dad gonna come downstairs and you're drinking a lot of liquor now. You got a problem? I'm like, listen here, man. Like, oh, I'm trying to entertain, like, let me be free. I was watching Joe Rogan. Let me know what you think about this. He say, we like evolved. We evolved from apes. He believes that at one point humans were consuming like mushrooms
Oh
and
yeah.
consuming weed, and that like aided in our
That's the
evolution.
that's the stoned ape theory.
Really?
Yeah,
Let me hear, you know more
that's
about
the
it than I.
Terrence McKenna stoned ape theory.
What is it? Tell me about it.
So he basically says that that like we started out as these like monkeys or whatever, and they would they like came down from the forest in search of like food, and they went in these like big fields with like pastures of cows, and mushrooms, psilocybin cubanus mushrooms grow.
That's nice. You know the term. I like that. That's
Yeah,
fire.
I was just fucking around, but yeah, they grow under cow shit. So, um, the
Why is that?
monkeys, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know the study,
That's gnarly.
but they find they found these mushrooms and they started eating them, and they just started tripping balls. So whether that, I mean, Terrence McKenna's theory is basically like it led to more of a communal aspect, and it caused them to like become more like community centered and community organized. So it organized them more, and it also it also led to like them just fucking like crazy. Like seriously, that's what he said. It said it like led them to just like become communal and like then just like fuck around like fires and shit. Because I guess he like assumed they discovered fire by this point, and then they just like would fuck around these fires and be like communal. And I'm sure it like opened their mind more to just like I mean, it's a monkey brain. So I've always thought like, what if we just took a group of monkeys and just fed them mushrooms their whole life? Like how would they act differently, Like wouldn't that be something interesting to study?
That's yeah.
Like if you took a monkey and just fed him a bunch of shrooms.
Take a bonobo.
A bonobo? Is that what
It's
is
the
that?
closest relation to a human being.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Take a bonobo and feed them a bunch of mushrooms and then just see like how they act different. But yeah, basically he says like that just led to us like, becoming more communal, becoming more able to communicate better, and just discovering more advanced ways of, tool making and stuff like that, and eventually just led to our evolution.
That see, it makes sense. What's it called? The stone ape theory.
Yeah, it's a stoned ape theory. I've also always thought, what if like I feel like what if it had something also to do with like cooking your food? You know what I mean? Because what other animals cook their food besides humans?
What do you dig deeper?
So what if like a monkey started cooking meat, and that just somehow led to like
How would he cook the meat?
just over a fire?
How would he have a fire?
He just figured it out somehow. I don't know, man. Like, what if a monkey just like got stoned off of shrooms and just started rubbing two sticks together? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like, like you just eat a bunch of shrooms. Like, who knows what you're gonna do?
You're right.
You can start doing some weird shit. You know what I mean? You pick up two sticks, you start rubbing those together. It just creates a fire. He's gonna be like, holy shit! He's gonna remember that.
Uh huh.
He's gonna show another monkey, and that monkey's gonna be like, oh shit, like this is now we have warmth, and they're gonna see that as an asset that like benefits them. There's that fucking game. You ever played that game where you like start out as a monkey and you like progress through like evolution?
It's not like Super Monkey Ball.
No, it's like a new video game,
It's
dude.
new.
It's like kind of new. You
It's a,
start out as like a monkey, and you gotta like go like you just start out as a monkey, a little baby monkey, and you gotta like figure out how to make different tools to like fight off predators and shit like that. It's kind of like an evolutionary
what's this
based
motherfucker
game.
called? Sounds fun.
I don't remember what it's called. I've just seen like videos of it on YouTube.
Evolution is so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Well, at some point in our evolution, there's a massive leap in intelligence.
Of course.
Like it's at some point our brains grew like a very large percentage over the course of like a small amount of years on the whole grand scheme of things. So something led to that. Whether who knows what it is, whether
It would make sense that it'd be psychedelics though.
Yeah, whether it's psychedelics or alien intervention, some type of like alien gene splicing theory.
Yeah, man. Thanks for pulling up. It's been great.
Yeah.
Had some camera problems. Had to go get my laptop charged.
No, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's been,
I like the setup. I like what you got going on here, man. So
thanks, bro. Definitely got to have you back.
yeah, man.
Chop it up some more.
Anytime.
We'll watch some more Joe Rogan, so we'll have some
Dude,
shit to talk about.
I'm all down to talk about anything crazy.
Open door policy, man. Just pull up whenever.
All right, man.
I'll have some wine. I'll have a board. It's good. It's been great having you.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right.